Security in Asia and Taiwan is a growing concern for the United States, which is in the process of confirming its team of defense policymakers. On Tuesday, Elbridge Colby, who was nominated for a leading position in the Pentagon, spoke about his concerns over Taiwan.
I've always said that Taiwan is very important to the United States, but as you said, it's not an existential interest. It's very important. The core American interest is in denying China regional hegemony. I think actually as a proportion of GDP, it's well below 3%. I agree with President Trump that they should be more like 10%, or at least something in that ballpark, really focused on their defense. So we need to properly incentivize them.
In the past few years, Taiwan has been working to increase its defense spending to arm itself and defend against threats from China, which seeks to take over the country by force if necessary. This includes billions of dollars on air defense systems, fighter jets, and various types of advanced missiles. But many in the U.S. say that Taiwan needs to move faster to address China's growing military threat. In recent months, there's also been growing concern over parts of Taiwan's defense budget being frozen or slashed by the opposition-controlled legislature.
It's disturbing to me that in recent months, the Parliament of Taiwan has moved to cut their defense budget. Are you disturbed by that move in the Taiwanese Parliament?
I'm profoundly disturbed, Senator, and I think the question that you're raising is one that I've heard not only Democrats but Republicans raise often in private. Secretary Mattis, who was mentioned earlier, said we can't care more about your defense than you can. So this is where I think I've been trying in my communication and my recommendations for policy vis-a-vis Taiwan to try to induce them in whatever way possible.
But despite these calls for Taiwan to spend 10% of GDP on defense, analysts say that number is a huge challenge. Looking at countries around the world, very few spend more than even 5% of GDP on defense. But given Taiwan's situation, analysts say Taiwan does need to raise the bar.
We've seen Taiwan increase its defense spending year on year under the last president and continuing under President Lai. And this is it's been Herculean efforts to get what looks on paper like small, half percentage points of growth. But in the grand scheme of Taiwan's national budget, those are actually pretty significant changes.
Taiwan's defense ministry told TaiwanPlus that how it spends and allocates its defense budget is based on its own assessments. Taiwan is working to increase its defense spending, with President Lai Ching-te announcing last month that the country would strive to allocate 3% of GDP on defense. The concern now, though, is the trade-off, and if defense really is the top priority compared to other necessary services and sectors in Taiwan.
Does that mean, the government decides to, reduce social services or other spending on healthcare, right? Things that really matter to Taiwan's way of life and the people of Taiwan. I just don't see it being politically viable for Taiwan to have to negotiate that social safety net that the people on Taiwan have come to really love, right?
Under U.S. pressure to boost expenditures, the decision to spend more on defense is one that only Taiwan can make. But given the changing nature of security in Asia, it's faced with a tough choice on how much priority to give to its own security. Hsueh and Jaime Ocon for TaiwanPlus.